Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and part 2 of the solo servings mini-series. Today we're making scallion ginger crab, one of my favorite things in the entire world. For this dish we need to slice up 4 scallions into 1-inch pieces, and we want to keep the whites of the scallion and the greens of the scallion separate because they're going to go into our wok at different times. So just giving these nice little choppity chop. Next up, I have 2 knobs of ginger. One is about 3 inches. The other is about 2. It doesn't really matter if they're even. We just want to give this a nice little slice and set this aside as well. For our crab, I have a 1.5 pounds of dungeness crab legs because they were on sale. And we want to crack the shells of these before we cook them, just to make it easier to eat later. So just use the back of your knife to give these a little tap to crack the shell. We're also going to remove the legs from the body. And you can see my crab is still a little frozen, but we'll take care of that when we give this a nice rinse. So just separating this out and giving this a little tap. Then we're going to give this a really good rinse to defrost this completely, and then we can dry this off in a little paper towel. We can also pick out any shell shards in this when we go to dry it as well, because you don't want to chomp down on that. So take another set of paper towels and just blot the top. Now we're going to flour this lightly. So I have a tablespoon of flour in a small bowl. And we're going to roll around the meaty parts and then shake off any excess. And then we're going to sprinkle the rest of that on top of our shells and our legs and give this a really good toss because we want to coat our crab legs in flour. Over on the stove, you should have a wok or a heavy bottom pot heating up over very high heat. We're going to add in 2 tablespoons of a neutral oil and just heat it until it starts to smoke. And we're going to add in our crab legs, all of them, and we're going to stir fry this around for about 30 to 40 seconds. This goes very quickly once you start cooking over your stove top. So adding in all the crab, giving this a really nice toss, making sure it's coated in the oil. And then we're going to pull this out and set this aside while we assemble the rest of our dish. So it's been about 35 seconds. We're going to pull this out and just place this on a tray. And we're going to use the same pot or wok for the entire dish. So once all the crab legs are out, you're going to give this a little wipe, just getting out any shells before adding in another tablespoon of neutral oil and adding in all of our ginger. And we want to just fry this for about 40 seconds until it's golden. This is going to infuse the oil with that ginger flavor and just intensify the flavor of that ginger. Next, we're going to add in our scallion whites and all of our crab legs back to the wok. And we're going to let this cook for about 20 seconds. Giving that a little toss. Now to add a ton of flavor, we are going to drizzle in 1.5 tablespoons of shaoxing wine, cover this with a lid, and let that cook for 3 minutes, giving your wok a little shake every now and then. After 3 minutes, take off the lid, give this a little toss, and to add even more flavor, we're going to add in a teaspoon of soy sauce, just a pinch, 1/8 of a teaspoon of sugar, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper. That's all in there, tossing again, just cooking for about 15 seconds before adding adding in our scallion greens. At this point, you can shut off the heat because that residual heat will wilt down those scallions. Now to plate, I'm just going to pop this onto my favorite platter. You guys have seen this in a lot of my videos because it really is my favorite platter. And this is looking absolutely delicious. Now let's go ahead and give this a taste. And since we cracked the shells earlier, this is going to be really easy to extract out this beautiful, succulent crab meat. And that, in my opinion, is perfect plate. Crab meat is sweet and tender. It's picked up that ginger so beautifully. You get a little hint of soy and the shaoxing. The scallions add a nice bright onion flavor to this as well. And this is absolutely delicious and such a treat to myself. But there it is, scallion ginger crab. I really hope you all try to make this in your home. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really do appreciate you. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you loved it, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you haven't already, because I put out new videos every Thursday. Thank you so much again, and until next time, happy cooking.